Okay, so what I said is in the previous class. Okay, I said you if else ladder, right? That is writing multiple if conditions. So here, if the first condition is fail, it will try to check the second condition. So there is a condition one. If the first condition is fail, then second condition, if the second condition is a true, like this. Okay, multiple conditions you are trying to check. So that is done by using if else ladder. So let us see some more examples of this if else ladder, and then we'll talk about nested if. So that is writing if inside the if, so that you can call it as okay, nested if. So there's no classes today. So let us see. Let us see an example of nested if else ladder. What exactly you're doing in if else ladder? Okay. Suppose write a program. Suppose write a program. Okay, suppose write a program to find. Suppose assume that to convert input alphabet into uppercase or lowercase. If input alphabet in lowercase, you have to convert that into what? Uppercase. If input alphabet is in uppercase, then you have to convert into what? Lowercase. Okay. So you have to input one alphabet first. So enter the alphabet first. So I'm saying character equal to input. Enter alphabet. I'm saying enter alphabet. Okay. After that, you are trying to verify. Is it this alphabet is in uppercase? Character is greater than or equal to A. So input character is greater than or equal to A. And input character is less than or equal to what? Z. It means if it is in uppercase, what do you have to do? Convert that into which case here lowercase. If it is in uppercase, so if it is in uppercase, convert that into which case here lowercase. But how you convert it? By taking ASCII value. So n equal to ORD of CH. So ORD will return which value? ASCII value. For example, ORD, suppose if I'm saying, okay, ORD of capital E is what here? 65. And ORD of small a is what here? 97. So if you want to convert uppercase letter to lowercase letter, you have to add 65 plus 32. What is the difference between uppercase and lowercase? 32. So what you have to do is ORD of CH plus 32. So then it will convert into which case? Lowercase. Then how can I get character of ASCII value CHR? CHR of suppose 65 means capital E. And if I say CHR of 97 means small e. Okay. So you're trying to use which one? CHR. Print CHR of N. When you say CHR of N, so that will return character value. Okay, else if character is greater than or equal to small a, if it is lowercase, and CH is less than or equal to small z, if it is in which case here, lowercase, then you have to convert into which case? Uppercase. N equal to ORD of CH, okay, minus 32. And then print CHR of N. Now this is just to understand if else. Okay, if the first condition is uppercase, then convert into which case? Lowercase. If it is not uppercase, then it will verify is it in lowercase. Then convert into which case? Lowercase. Suppose if it is not uppercase, lowercase, means it is not alphabet. If it is not in uppercase, if it is not in lowercase, it means it is not alphabet. So I have to display the message, not an alphabet. It is not a alphabet. So I try to display the message saying that it is not a alphabet. It is not an alphabet. If it is not in uppercase and lowercase, enter alphabet, small e, converted to what? Capital A. And if I enter, so capital some R, so it converts into small r. If I enter some star, it is what here? Not a alphabet. If I enter some, okay, digit some 3 is not a alphabet. So if the first condition is a true, it will execute this block of code. If the first condition is false, then check the second condition. If the second condition is true, it will execute this block. If both the conditions are false, then comes to else and print a message. It is not a alphabet. Okay, this is nothing but if else ladder means checking multiple conditions. If one condition is fail, you are trying to check what? Another condition. If one condition is fail, you are trying to check another condition. Okay, for example, if you see the example of assume that this is okay, this is an example in hacker ranks. Okay, see the example in hackers rank. Okay, if else. Example is what here? If else. So solve the challenge. Now you can see the task is given an integer n, perform the following conditional actions. If n is odd, print weird. What is the task here is given an integer n, perform the following conditional actions. If n is odd, print weird. If n is even and in the inclusive range 2 to 5, print not weird. If n is even and in the inclusive range 6 to 20, print weird. If n is even and greater than 20, print not weird. See how many conditions are there here. Okay, this is a task here. Okay, given an integer n, perform the following conditional actions. If n is odd, print weird. If n is even and in the inclusive range of 2 to 5, print not weird. If n is even and in the inclusive range of 6 to 20, print weird. If n is even and greater than 20, print not weird. So here you have to write the code. Here you have to write the code by selecting Python compiler is Python 3 Python 3. Now you have to write the code like this. I think a little login. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to enter the number, integer of input, input. See here, this is the input format. So what is this here input? Okay, input 3. So 3 is which number here? Odd number. You have to print what? Weird. If it is odd number, you have to print weird, right? So here, after giving this, if n mod 2 is not equal to 0, if n mod 2 is not equal to 0, it is which number? Odd number. If it is odd number, what you have to print? Weird. So it should be printed in the same fashion. If one letter is missing, if it is in uppercase, lowercase, then your code will not be executed. So if it is odd number, print weird. Else if n mod 2 equal to 0, if it is even number, and I don't require to check again even number, because other than odd numbers, all the numbers are what? Even only. So else if I have to check only this condition 2 to 5. So 2 to 5. So even an inclusive range of 2 to 5. It means n is greater than or equal to 2 and n is less than or equal to 5. So what I have to do, I have to print. What is the message here? Not weird. I have to print the message, not weird, because other than odd numbers, remaining all numbers are what? Even numbers. Remaining all numbers are what? Even numbers. So print. So what I'm saying here, print not weird. This is a output here. So else if, so there is one more condition. What is that? Another condition is n is a even and inclusive range 6 to 20. 6 to 20. Else if n is greater than or equal to 6 and n is less than or equal to 20. So print, you have to say what? Weird. So what is the message you have to print? Weird. Okay, and else, okay, else, suppose else, I have to print what here? Not weird. Now to run this code, you have to sign in first. Okay, to run this code, first you have to sign in, run the code. So you have to sign in. You can sign in with your Google account. Okay. So run the code here. Now you can see. So sample test cases are over. Now suppose if you are writing with like enter any number like that, see whatever input they asked you have to enter in the same fashion. Suppose if you are writing in small letters, then if you run the code, so sample test case 0, he said wrong answer because here I print W in which letter, small letter, but output in which letter, capital. So whatever output he asked, you have to do in the same fashion. Otherwise, your code will not be submitted and executed. Run the code and then submit the code. You can see all the test cases are done. Okay. Yes. Once you do this, you'll get some points. I think for this, this is 10 points, I think. Okay. Right. So I try to put the link here. And this is a problem statement. And the solution is this. So I copied the problem statement, and this is what here solution for it. Okay. Suppose there is another problem, just to see in, yes, this is if else. Okay, if else, there is only one example. So there is another thing related with code chef. Just open code chef. Code chef. In code chef, now you can find which one, ATM. So the first problem is what here? ATM problem. So here also, now Pooja would like to withdraw some X US dollars from ATM. So the problem statement is like this. Pooja would like to withdraw X US dollars from ATM. Okay. No problem. You don't require to check that constraints. So Pooja would like to withdraw X US dollars from ATM. The cash machine will only accept the transaction if X is multiples of what? 5. And Pooja's account balance has enough cash. What is this? Hoot is what here? So Pooja would like to withdraw some dollars. Constraints is not required. Your code is executed, right? The cash machine will only accept the transaction if X is multiples of 5 and Pooja's account balance has enough cash to perform the withdrawal transaction. For each successful withdrawal, the bank charges 50.05 US dollars. Calculate the Pooja's account balance after an attempted transaction. Okay. You try to do this. Okay. This problem. Let us move to another. Yes, this is if else if. Now there is one more if syntax is there, and that is nested if. Nested if is there. Nested means within. Okay. So writing if inside if, writing if inside if is called nested if. If you are writing if inside if is called nested if. Or you can say if followed by If followed by if is called a nested if. Okay, nested means within. Okay, if inside the if is called nested if. So what is the syntax of nested if here? Okay, now this is a syntax of nested if. You are writing like this: if and if it followed by condition, if followed by condition one, and immediately you are writing another condition. So you are saying condition two, and after that you are trying to write some statements. So there is a statement one, and else you are writing another statement, and that is statement two. Okay, else you are writing another statement, that is statement three. See, if the condition one is a true, immediately it will check what condition two. It means if the condition one is a true, then only it will verify condition two. If the condition one is a false, it will not verify what condition two. So you are trying to write if inside the if. You are writing the if inside the if. So when this if is executed, if this condition is a true, now you can say this is outer condition and this is what inner condition. For example, if A is greater than B, if A is greater than B, or if the transaction, suppose assume that if username is valid, if the username is valid, then only check is it password is valid or not. If the username is valid, then only verify is it password is valid or not. If the username is not valid, then it will not verify which one password. So it means based on one condition, you are trying to check what another condition. It means you are trying to split two conditions. You are trying to split what here two conditions by writing if inside the if. So that you can call it as what here nested if. So if condition one is a true, in this case, if condition one and condition two are true, it executes statement one. If condition one is a true, if condition one is true, and condition two is what here false, it executes statement two. It executes statement two. If condition one is false, if condition one is false, it executes statement three. If condition one is false, it executes statement three. If you see the flowchart of this, how the flowchart here is like this. Okay, now this is a start here. Okay, this is a start. Okay, start. And then followed by condition. You are writing one condition here. Okay, start it followed by condition. So this is a condition one. If the condition one is a true, immediately it will check what another condition. If the condition one is a true, immediately it will check another condition. Immediately it will check another condition. Another condition is verified here. So what is it? Another condition here, condition two. If the condition two is a true, then it execute what? Statement one. If the condition two is a true, it executes statement one. So this is how it is. If the condition one is a true and condition two is a true, it executes statement one. Suppose condition one is a true, but condition two is a false. Condition one is a true, but condition two is what here? False. Then it execute what? Statement two. It executes statement two. So it executes statement two here. Okay, statement two executes. Suppose if condition one is a false, if condition one is a false, if condition one is a false, okay, if condition one is a false, then it executes statement three. If condition 1 itself is a false, it executes statement 3. Condition 1 is a false, it executes statement 3. Okay. So after executing statement 1, it will stop or it will continue rest of the statements. Okay, now this is a flow here. Okay, this is a flow here, how your program get executed here. This is a flow of execution. So statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 like that. Okay. Now just try to understand this. Okay. This is how it get executed. Okay. Yes, nested means within. Nested means what here? Within. If you are writing if inside the if, is called as a nested if. For example, yes, for example, okay, for example, yes. Suppose if you take login only, so develop, okay, develop some login application. I want to develop a login application. So where in login, you try to input how many values? Two values. In login, you try to input how many values? Two values. Okay, you try to input how many values? Two values. One is username and one more is a password. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to input username, input username. Okay, input username. Okay, then I'm trying to input password, input password. So I try to input how many values here? Two values. First value is username and second value is what? Password. After that, I want to verify. First, first what I'm doing, I'm trying to verify. So if username equal to NIT, so what I'm writing, if username equal to NIT, okay, if username equal to what here? NIT. The input username, if it is equal to NIT, the input username is equal to NIT. Okay. Input username is equal to NIT. Means if the first condition is a true, then only you are trying to verify second condition. What is the second condition? Password. If password equal to NIT123. For example, I enter username. Assume that I enter username NIT. What is the value of uname? What is the value of uname here? NIT. Is it NIT is equal to NIT? Yes. This condition is what here? True. Then immediately it is trying to verify what? Second condition. Suppose I enter password as NIT123. Is it NIT123 equal to NIT123? Yes. Then I'll say welcome. I'll try to display the message welcome. Suppose I enter username NIT. Is it NIT equal to NIT? Yes. But I enter password as NIT456. What is the value of password here? NIT456. Is it NIT456 is equal to NIT123? No. Then it will come to which one? Else. And print. I should print. What is this? Invalid. Which one is invalid here? Password. Okay, invalid which one? Password. Suppose I enter username as Naresh. So it will verify. What is the username I've given? Naresh. Is it Naresh is equal to NIT? No. Then will it verify password? No. It will come to which part here? Else part. It will come to else part. And here I'm displaying invalid username. Means I'm trying to verify username and password individually. I'm trying to verify username and password what individual. If username is a valid, then only verify the password. If the username is not valid, then you are not verifying what password. Okay. Now just see here. Now once you run this, username is NIT and password is NIT123. So what is output here? Welcome. Username NIT, password is some XYZ. Against the invalid password. Username is Naresh and password is NIT123, invalid user name. So if the username is invalid, then it will not verify the password. It will not verify the password. Okay. So based on one condition, you want to verify another condition. Based on one condition, you want to verify another condition. So that you can do it by writing nested if. Nested means within. So you are writing if condition within the if condition or if followed by another if. For example, I want to write a program. Yes, again, see here. I want to write a program to find max of three numbers. I want to find the max of three numbers. Find the max of three numbers. Okay, but using nested if. Using nested if. I want to find the max of three numbers, but I want to find out this by using nested if. I want to find out using what here? Nested if. Nested if I want to use it. Okay, nested if I want to use it. So I have to input how many numbers here? Three numbers. Integer of input. Enter what? First number. Enter first number. N2 equal to input. Enter what is that? Second number. Input first number. Input second number. Integer of input. Enter what? Third number. So I try to input how many numbers here? Three numbers. N1 value, N2 value, and one more is N3 value. So first what I'm doing is I'm trying to verify if N1 is greater than N2. What I'm writing, if N1 is greater than what? N2, then immediately you're checking one more condition. Immediately you're checking one more condition saying that if N1 is greater than N3. Okay, if N1 is greater than N2, then only it will verify if N1 is greater than N3. Suppose if N1 is greater than N2 and N1 is greater than N3, I'm saying print. Which one is a max? N1. N1 is what here? Max. I'm saying N1 is what? Max. Suppose N1 is greater than N2, but N1 is not greater than N3. Then else, which one is max? Which one is max? Which one is max? N3 is a max. Which one is max here? N3 is a max. Okay, assume that N1 is not greater than N2. Okay, it will come to else if N2 is greater than which one? N3. N2 is greater than which one? N3. Then which one is max? N2 is a max. If N2 is not greater than N3, then I have to say which one is max? N3 is a max. It's like that. Okay. Now here I try to check the conditions like this. Okay. Yes. Now you are trying to check multiple conditions. For example, 10, 20, and 30. Which one is a max? 30 is a max. If I'm trying to enter some 30, 10, and 20, which one is max? 30, which is N1. Okay, 10, 30, and 20, which one is max? 30 is a max, which is N2. But how I did this? By using nested. Okay, nested means if one condition is passed, then you are checking what? Another condition. So nested means writing the if within the if. If you are writing if condition inside the if condition, then you can call that as what? Nested if. That is called as a nested if, right? Okay. So that is called as a nested if condition, right? Yes, not required else if. Last one, huh? Last one not required, but if you want, you can write it. No problem. Last one, if you want, you can write it. Okay, else if last condition, you can write. No problem. Else if N3 greater than N1, you can say N3 is a max. Okay, right. This is what you call it as nested if. Then next we'll go for, okay. Now there is a only one conditional statement you have in Python. Now next we'll talk about loop control statements. Next we'll talk about loop control statements. Okay, loop control statements. I said control statements are two types. One is called as conditional statements and one more is a loop control statements. Conditional statements are used to execute. Conditional statements are used to execute the statements based on some condition. Based on the condition, if you want to execute some statements, you can do that by using a conditional statement. As a part of Python, there is only one conditional statement, and what is that? If. Next, we'll see loop control statements. I said a given problem. I said a given problem can be solved in different ways. I said there are three types of algorithms. What I said is there is a three types of algorithms. One is sequential algorithm, means you solve the given problem by executing all the statements one by one. For example, finding area of triangle, input base, input height, area, and print it. It means you are executing all the statements one by one. So there is one more algorithm which is called as selection. So where you try to execute the statements based on condition, finding the max of two numbers, input first number, input second number. Okay, print the A or print B. Okay, now that is based on which one? Condition. If the condition is a true, you execute this block of code. If this condition is false, you execute this block of code. Now this you call it as which one? Selection or conditional. But a given problem, third one is a given problem is solved by repeating one statement number of times. For example, print your name 100 times. Print your name how many times here? 100 times. You don't require to write print how many times? 100 times. You write a print statement how many times? One time. And repeat that how many times? 100 times. Repetition. If you want to repeat one or more than one statement, if you want to repeat one or more than one statement number of times, a block of code you want to repeat number of times, then you put inside one loop. If you want to repeat one or more than one statement number of times, then you put that inside one loop. And that you call it as which statements? Loop control statements. So loop control statements are used to repeat one or more than one statement, number of times. Number of times are until given condition. Loop control statements are used to repeat one or more than one statement number of times are until given condition. So Python support Okay, two types of loop control statements. Two types of loop control statements. One is while loop and second one is for loop. How many types of loop control statements are there? Two. One is a while and one more is what? For. So these two are two different looping statements or loop control statements. Now let us talk about first one is while loop. So what is the use of this while loop? But what is the use of loop control statements? Loop control statements are used to repeat one or more than one statement number of times or until given condition. So what is the first one? You have while loop. Okay. So while is a keyword, right? While keyword is used to represent what? While loop in Python. Okay. While keyword is used to represent while loop in Python. So while loop repeat. Okay, while loop repeat one or more than one statement until given condition is true. When the condition is false, it will stop. When condition is false, it will stop. So while loop repeat one or more than one statement until given condition is true. When condition false, when given condition false, when given condition is false, it will stop. It will stop executing. It will stop executing while loop. It will stop executing what here? While loop. What is the syntax of this? This is a syntax. Two syntaxes are there. This is a syntax 1 and this is a syntax 2. Two syntaxes are there, syntax 1 and syntax 2. If you see this syntax 1, there's a while, is a keyword, and while it followed by condition, and include is a block. When you're saying a block, you have to include some statements, statement 1 and statement 2. And then I'm writing here statement 3. Where is the statement 3? Is the statement 3 is there within the while or outside the while? Outside the while. Statement 3 is not within the while. Statement 3 is where? Outside the while. How many statements are there in while? Two statements. That is statement 1 and statement 2. So you can say statement 1, statement 2. Okay, statement 1, comma statement 2 are repeated. Repeated how many times? Repeated until condition is true. When the condition is a false, it will stop. Okay, it will stop. When the condition is a false, it will stop and execute statement 3. When condition is false, it stop. It come out of the while loop. Come out of while loop and continue what here? Statement 3. It will come out of the while loop and continue what here? Statement 3. If you see the flow chart of this, there is a start. If you see the flow chart, there is a start and then followed by condition. Followed by what here? Condition. Condition. You're writing one condition. So there's a condition. So if the condition is a true, yes, if the condition is a true, what will happen if the condition is a true? If the condition is a true, it executes statement 1. If the condition is a true, it executes statement 1 and execute what here? Statement 2. If the condition 1 is a true, if the condition is a true, it executes statement 1, statement 2, and after executing statement 1, statement 2, again it will check what? Condition. So repetition, right? So it is trying to repeat this. How many times? It is trying to repeat this how many times here? Until condition is the true. Until condition is what here? True. When the condition become false, when this condition become what here? False, it will come out of the loop. When the condition become false, it will come out of the loop and execute what? Rest of the statements. Rest of the statements means there is a statement 3. There's another statement. What is it? Another statement? Statement 3. It will continue and execute rest of the statements, and that rest of the statements is statement 3. And then what will happen here? Stop. This statement 3 is not within the loop. Statement 3 is where? Outside the loop. So this is when the condition is what? False. This is when the condition is a false, right? See, condition is there. True, statement 1, statement 2, again condition. True, statement 1, statement 2, again condition. True, statement 1, statement 2, again condition. Is a true, then statement 1 and statement 2, again condition. Is a false, then statement 3 and then stop. So repetition is done until condition is what here? True. Yes. See, all these are useful for building the logics. Okay, logical. And not only that, to process the data, sometimes it is required to repeat some statements number of times. To process the data, sometimes it is required to repeat some statements number of times. For example, there is a vector. Assume that there is a vector. Vector is having some 100 values. Vector is having how many values? 100 values. I want to read each time one value. I want to read each time one value. Each time one value, and each location in vector is identified with what? Index. Then to read 100 values, I have to generate how many values here? 100. So this kind of things I can do it by using which one here? While loop. So sometimes a given problem is not solved by writing or by repeating a statement only one time. It is required to repeat the statement number of times. It is required to repeat the statements number of times. Okay. So there is another syntax is there. While there is another syntax, while it followed by which one? Condition. This syntax again I'll discuss, but just try to understand this is one more syntax. There is a statement 1 and there is a statement 2. Else, okay, else I'm writing here statement 3 and statement 4, and here there is a statement 5. So generally else is used with what? If. Actually else is used with what? If. But when it comes to the Python, I can use else with while also. I can use else with what here? While also. But we'll discuss what is the need of writing else with which loop? While loop. But first we'll discuss about syntax 1, and later on we'll discuss about syntax 2. But just remember working with the syntax 1, while condition and statement 1, statement 2. Okay, so it will repeat the statement 1, statement 2 until given condition is true. Until given condition is true. When the condition is a false, then it will stop. See, I've given already practice questions. I said you to practice these questions. All these questions. Okay, I said you to practice all this. Accept any city from the user and display of that city. Okay, which one is a popular or belongs to what? Okay, yes. Write a program to check whether number entered is 3-digit number or not. Length you have to find out. Write a program to check whether a person is eligible, senior citizen, lowest number, largest number is a positive or negative, even or odd, divisible, largest of 3 numbers. Huh? Yes. Dash is a graphical representation of steps flowchart. Python has dash statement as an empty statement pass. In Python, a block is a group of consecutive or alternative consecutive, right? Out of else if and else if, which is the correct statement in Python? Else if. Accept the age of 4 people and display youngest one. That is nothing but finding minimum of 4 numbers. Finding minimum of 4 numbers. What is the purpose of else in if else if later? If all the conditions are false, it will execute which one? Else. That is the default one. If none of the conditions are true in else if ladder, that will be executed, right? So I want you to do all these exercises, right? The next is, even you can find, even this link also, I'll share it. 40 important questions of while loop. This is a while loop. See, write a program to print the following using while loop. First 10 even numbers, first 10 odd numbers, first 10 natural numbers, first 10 whole numbers. Write a program to print first 10 integers and their squares using while loop. Write a for loop here. Write a while loop statement to print the following series. Write a program to print first 10 natural numbers in reverse order using while loop. Write a program to print sum of first natural numbers. But first of all, you should know how to write a while loop. Okay, once you know how to write a while loop, now you can solve all these problems. You can solve all these problems, right? Okay, let us see first what is the syntax of writing a while loop. Suppose if I'm writing a while, suppose I write while what is this? True. I said while true. While true, I said true means true only, right? Is a constant whose value is never changed. If I'm saying print, what I'm saying print Python. I said while true, and after that I said print Python. It means it will print this Python how many times? It will print this Python how many times? This statement is put inside a loop or not? Yes. So this loop is repeated how many times? This loop is repeated how many times until given condition is false. But always the condition is what here? True. Means it will print this Python how many times? Infinite times. It will print the Python how many times here? Infinite times. It will print this Python how many times here? Infinite times. If you run this, now you can see. So keep on printing Python how many times here? Infinite times. Infinite times, you have to break it. Or you can say shell, debug and where is this? Restart the shell. It will stop. Okay, otherwise it will keep on printing it. How many times it will print? Infinite times. Because always the condition is what here? True. Now this condition is never become what? False. This condition never become false. Always the condition is what here? True. Then what is the output I'll get here? Python. Keep on printing what? Python, Python, Python. How many times? Infinite times. Getting on it. Okay. Suppose if I'm writing while false, print Java. I said while false and I said print Java. It will print Java how many times? Will it print or it doesn't print? Doesn't print because is it this condition is a true or false? False. If it is a false, will it execute this block? No. If it is a true, then only to execute which block? While block. If the condition is a false, it will not execute which one? While. So will it come out of the loop or not? Yes. It will print Python infinite times, but it doesn't print which one? Java. So if you run this, I'll put this in comment. So how can you comment it by using hash? So if you run this, can you see any output here? No. Why? Because this condition is what here? False. Getting on. So when the while loop is executed, if the condition is a true, it will repeat it. It will repeat until the condition is a true. When the condition is a false, then it will stop. When the condition is a false, then it will stop. But it will repeat until the condition is a true. Getting on not? Okay. Suppose these are two different code snippets, right? If you see this, so here find output. So in this, how many times? What is output of this? Python is printed. How many times? Infinite times. And here, what is output? Is it any output for this? No, no output. Find output. Is it any output for this? No, no output. No output for this. There's no output for this. Okay, yes. So this is how it is. For example, so I want to print Python 10 times. I want to print Python how many times? 10 times. I want to print Python 10 times. I want to print Python 10 times. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm writing I equal to 1. I have to count it. I have to count. Counting starts from where? 1 onwards. So what is the value of I here? 1. While I is less than or equal to what? 10. You are repeating this until I is less than or equal to 10. When the I is greater than 10, I should stop. Yes or no? When the I is greater than 10, you have to stop. What is the value of I here? 1. Is it 1 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. Then I have to say print. Print what is that? Python. Okay, print what is that? Python. I printed the value called Python. What is the value of I here? 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. What it will print? Python. After that, what I have to do? I value should be incremented or not? Yes. I have to say I equal to I plus 1. I have to say I equal to I plus 1. When I say I equal to I plus 1, the value of I becomes what here? 2. When I say I equal to I plus 1, the value of I becomes what? 2. Is it 2 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. Print what here? Python. I is I plus 1 means 3. 3 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. Print Python. 4. 4 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. 5. 5 is less than or equal to 10? 6. 6 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. 7. 7 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. 8. 8 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. 9. 9 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. 10. 10 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. 11. 11 is less than or equal to 10? No. It will stop. It will stop. Will it come out of the loop or not? Yes. It will come out of the loop. And outside the loop, I'm just printing a message called which one? Java. So what is the output of this? Okay. It will print. It will print Python how many times here? 10 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After that, it will come out of the loop and printed what statement? Java. It means in order to work with a while loop, you require some statements. For example, if I don't write this I is I plus 1, what will happen? If I don't write I is I plus 1, what will happen? What is the value of I? 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. Print what? Python. Is it I value changed or not changed? Not changed. I is still 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. Python. 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10. How many times? How many times it execute? Infinite times. Because you have to make this condition what? False. To make this condition false, I have to increment the value of I by 1. So that is nothing but updating condition. If you run this, it will print Python, keep on printing Python. How many times? Infinite times. So you required one statement. You required one statement which makes this condition is what here? False. Now that statement actually you call it as update statement. What is update statement? The statement which update this condition. Okay, the statement which update what here? This condition. If this statement is not there, is it this condition is updated? No. If the statement is not there, this condition is not updated. If the condition is not updated, then the loop becomes what? Infinite. So if your code is running infinitely, you have to check, is it update statement is there or not? If the update statement is there, then only your condition is what? Updated and the loop is terminated. If the update statement is not there, your condition is not updated, then what will happen? The loop execute how many times? Infinite times. So what you required is updation statement. So in order to work with the while loop, what you required is, this is called initialization statement. Initialization statement, and this you can call it as which one? Condition. In order to work with a while, you required how many statements? 3 statements. In order to work with a while, how many statements you required? 3 statements you required. So while loop required, yes. So this will print Python 10 times and then display which one? Java, right? So while loop required, how many statements? 3 statements. The first one is, what is the first one? Initialization. First one is the initialization statement, and second one is what? Condition statement or conditional statement, and third one is which statement? Update statement. Initialization statement, which defines initial value of condition. Condition statement which defines how many times while loop has to be executed. Update statement, okay, which updates what? Condition. Update statement updates the condition. What update statement will do? It will update the condition. Initialization statement, update statement. Update statement will update the condition here. What update statement will do? If it will update the condition. Update statement will update the condition, right? Okay, right? Now, if any one statement is missing, then the loop is executed how many times? Infinite times. If you don't write this update statement, then it will execute how many times? Infinite times, right? Yeah, I'll tell you. Because of that, in the place of do while, you have a while else. Prakar, Patak. In the place of do while, that's the reason I'm telling you, while else is there. While else is there. Okay. While else is there. In the place of do while, they write what? Another syntax. In other languages, you have only syntax, while, that's all. Okay, and do while is there. But here, while and while else is there. Okay, now, yes. So here, while else will work like a do while also. Because see, if the condition is false, it will come to else. I'll explain this. Okay, not now, but I'll explain that. What is exactly it is. Okay, right. But while is required how many statements? Three statements. One is initialization statement and conditional statement. And one more is what? Update statement. Okay, update statement, right? Okay. So we'll talk about this, like how to work with a while in detail, but tomorrow we'll see it, right? So today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this. Okay. Thank you.